This video about flexible work arrangements in Singapore is made by this producer who is currently given flexible work arrangements at his own workplace.
Hi, my name is Joe and on Mondays I end work early. About lunchtime I will head home because I need to send my son for his therapy sessions. This is a flexible work arrangement, or FWA for short, that my bosses as well as the HR department have readily agreed to. But before you say, "Fwah," FWA, so good, Mondays can go early.
I've also agreed to start work 1 hour before everyone else at the office every morning to make up for the time away at the start of the week. Now, I thought this was like a unique circumstance for someone like me, but when my colleague told me, hey, there's this video we've been asked to do, flexible work arrangements, I realized there's actually quite a few different kinds of flexible work arrangements and wanted to find out more. Do flexible work arrangements actually work?
While I was trying to uncover what flexibility means, I met with Judith. She's from the Tripartite Alliance for Fair Employment Practices, or TAFEP for short, and I heard she has some answers for me about flexibility at work.
Okay, so thanks for coming all the way here. I understand you're here to talk to us a little bit about flexible work arrangements. So this is our flexibility studio, Flexibility, you get it?
I get it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, first question for you, why are flexible work arrangements important?
So flexible work arrangements, or FWAs, actually have distinct benefits for both the employers and the employees. For employers, it helps them to keep their staff motivated and efficient because they can manage their responsibilities better on the personal front as well as career. Of course, having that kind of flexibility in the way that we work allows us to better integrate the different parts of our lives, right? So we can match our career goals with our personal goals as well.
What are some examples of flexible work arrangements?
Okay, so when we think about flexible work arrangements, everyone typically thinks about telecommuting or working from home, right, in this day and age. But in reality, there are so many permutations of flexible work arrangements. Really, when it comes to flexibility, the thing that we need to recognize is that there's no one-size-fits-all answer for organizations. So employers really need to find solutions that are creative and that meet the needs of their organizational goals as well as those of their employees.
I mean, I'm kind of like on a flexible work arrangement myself. What would one piece of advice be for me?
Have clear conversations with your manager. Speak more clearly and communicate more regularly with your manager when it comes to what your work-life needs are.
It was mentioned in Parliament that in 2021, over 9 in 10 employees worked in firms that provided at least one form of flexible work arrangement on a sustained basis. This is up from 7 in 10 employees in 2019. According to a study conducted by the Institute of Policy Studies in 2022, between 41% and 52% of workers felt that flexible work arrangements should be the new norm for workplaces in Singapore. So it's quite clear that a significant portion of employees in Singapore want to have flexible work arrangements. In fact, I hear that FWAs are going to be more commonplace once the impending tripartite guidelines kick in.
We will introduce a new set of tripartite guidelines on flexible work arrangements by 2024. The tripartite guidelines will prescribe fair and proper practices that employers should adopt, such as having a proper process to assess employees' requests for flexible work arrangements and communicate the outcome of such requests.
But beyond the statistics and what has been discussed, I thought to hear from fellow Singaporeans about flexible work arrangements and what they think about it, and if any of them have actually gone through these flexible work arrangements themselves, and if it's been useful.
I met with Joyce, who shared about how being able to work from home, one of the flexible work arrangements that her employer has adopted, has benefited her as a working mother.
Hi, my name is Joyce. So I'm a HR executive and I work at a Japanese company called Works Application Singapore. This is my 1-year-old son. His name is Lala. Hello! And he likes to play with my keyboard. We are able to start work more flexibly, but for me, because I have a baby and in between I will attend to baby, I work whenever I can. It means that I spend a lot of time with baby, then at night I will start to work. As an employee, we need to make sure that we don't purposefully shortchange the company. If you have work to do, I think it's your responsibility as an employee to make sure that you complete your work.
And we believe the better environment, happy motivated employees, members will lead to better output. If we don't have those, the better environment, happy employees, motivated employees, we cannot bring any the good output.
I was able to be there for a lot of my babies first. The first time he rolled over, the first time he pushed up, the first time he stood up, the first time he talked. All these are very precious moments that would be difficult for me to experience in person if we were to put him in a daycare straight away.
Working from home is just one such flexible work arrangement. Next, I interview, myself about flexi work hours, another possible flexible work arrangement that employers can consider adopting. So, thank you for agreeing to this interview. Yeah, no problem. It feels like you are being in two places at once, right? I guess that's what flexible work arrangements, give you. So, some questions for you. What sort of flexible work arrangement are you on? So the flexible work arrangements that I am currently on is considered flexible working hours. It's been very useful for me because I think first and foremost, someone needs to be there, to ferry my son to and fro. Being able to be present there with him helps quite a bit with my son's emotional needs as well. It supports the family in very big ways actually. So was it difficult to first ask for this arrangement? Actually, I didn't know how my bosses would react because it's essentially asking for time away. And on Mondays, usually what happens in our office is that it gets quite hectic because it's the start of the week. Everyone's coming in, making sure that we start the week right. So I think on a personal level, it was difficult to first broach the topic. So I think the only hurdle that I had to kind of cross was myself first. You don't want to take it for granted. Yeah, and you don't want to seem like you are skiving, or putting other things above what your responsibilities are supposed to be at work. So what are the barriers, you would say, for a working father like yourself to tap into some of these flexible work arrangements? I think the barriers are more about trying to make sure that you are able to really draw healthy boundaries. It's easy to say that you can just put work away after you leave the office, but you're always constantly thinking about, oh no, is everything okay in the office? While you are trying to handle your son's needs at that moment in time. So I think those are certain barriers that I've had to slowly overcome and to tell myself that, I've already set in place certain systems, I've already communicated while I'm away. So, we just have to trust the arrangement and trust that your colleagues, your teammates, your leaders actually are there for you. So in your opinion, how should companies and organizations better cater to fathers and customize flexible work arrangements for them? Start conversations and maybe even initiate to ask questions about what needs fathers or parents have. I think for guys in general, we don't speak up as easily about some of the struggles and some of the needs that we have. So it's important to then create that safe space. So, how do you go from a father to a father? Okay, I know it's a dad joke, but I'm a dad, so I got license. I know there are a lot of fathers out there who probably are facing similar situations as I have. I hope that a lot of my sharing today and whatever that we've explored in this video can help to encourage you to see what the relevant choices are.